Hello, my name is Moving Cat and welcome to a video where I would like to dig a little bit deeper into the new Guild Battlegrounds map, give some more of my thoughts on the layout, want to talk about the number of building slots and kind of the layout of the building slots, how they are distributed, and in general look at the two maps, compare them, and I'll give some of my thoughts on why, as you can see in the title of this video, why I think this map will actually be worse for weaker guilds, but more beneficial for already strong guilds. And I don't really think that's the way it would want to go, and not the way I would like things to go. So I hope I'm wrong, but I do think I have some valid arguments for why that's the case. So why not jump straight into it? Starting with the big questions, will there be fewer building slots available on this map? Because one of the things that a lot of people have been talking about is that each sector have more neighbors. And because of this, if there was the same number of building slots, it would be possible to have more siege camps on each sector. Now, the answer to that perhaps a little bit difficult to tell because each season or each map will have a slightly different number of building slots. But I've looked at two maps, two of the new maps and two of the old maps, and here there seems to be slightly less building slots on the new map compared to the old. Now the two old maps I looked at had 69 and 64 building slots. The two new maps I looked at had 63 and 59 building slots. So on average, around 5-6 fewer building slots on the new map based on those I looked at. But again, not that big of a difference, and there will be a different amount for each season of the map. So I don't think that will matter too much, but what I think will matter a lot more is the way they are distributed and the way the map is laid out. Because one thing that perhaps should have been more apparent early on, but I didn't really think about it, and that is that if you look at the outer ring of the map, on this new map, you actually have a lot fewer sectors than you had on the old map. So the way this is laid out is that you have 6 sections, so section A to F, and each section has 4 rings. So you have this middle here, and then you have 4 rings going outwards. If we look at the new map, the first ring has 1 sector in each section, then we have 2 sectors, then we have 3, and then we have 4, where here 2 of these are taken up by guild HQs. If you look at the old map, however, you only have 4 sections, and the way they are laid out is that you start with 1, then we have 2, then we have 4, and then 8. So you have a doubling for each ring. What that means is that the outer ring on the old map has 32 sectors, where 8 of those, or up to 8 of those, are taken up by an HQ. So around 24 available sectors on the outer ring. If we look at the new map, you only have 24 sectors on the outer ring. Again, up to 8 of those taken up by a guild, so around 16 slots on the sectors on the outer ring here. So around 2/3 of the number of sectors on the outer ring. Now the second ring from the outside actually have quite close similar numbers for each map. The new map has 18, which is 2 more than the old map with 16. So here we actually have slightly more on the new map, but not that big of a difference. And if you combine the 2 outer rings, a lot fewer sectors on the new map. But it's in the middle parts of the map that you really see where the big difference is, because the third ring from the outside has 12 sectors here, whereas it had only 8 on the old map. So here we have 12 sectors, here we only have 8 sectors, and then the next ring, here in this map the middle ring, but the next ring here has only 4 sectors, but here we have 6 sectors. And then we have this one bonus sector in the middle. If we ignore that, it's the same number of sectors as the old map, so this one has 61 total sectors, the old one had 60 total sectors, with up to 8 of those taken by guild HQs. So it's more concentrated towards the middle. You have fewer sectors on the outer ring, more in the middle. And that's one reason why I think this will be worse for weaker guilds, because weaker guilds are usually limited to the outer sectors, but on this map there are fewer sectors on the outer ring to fight over. So they will have fewer rings to fight over. Now, another part of the equation is the number of building slots of these sectors. If we look at the outer ring on this map and the old map, based on those 4 maps I've looked at, 2 from each, 2 old, 2 new, the outer ring has around 0.6 building slots per sector. So around half a building slot. You see it alternates between 1 and 0. So 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, and so on. So around half a building slot. That's roughly the same. The next ring, however, in this map the 4th ring, in this map the 3rd ring, on the old map, based on the maps I've looked at, each sector has around 1.5 building slots. But on the new map, here each sector only has around 1.1 building slots, so fewer building slots in the 2nd ring. And it's a similar story in the 3rd ring from the outer side here. The 3rd ring here, on the old map, the ones I've looked at, it has around 1.9. The new map here around 1.4. So again, you have fewer building slots here on the 3rd ring compared to the 3rd ring from the outer edge, from the outer circle on the new map. So again, most weak guilds will be limited to these 2 or 3 outer rings, but on this map there are fewer sectors to fight over, and these sectors have fewer building slots compared to the old map, at least based on those maps I've looked at. It's only in the middle where the new map has more building slots, where each sector has more building slots surrounding it on average compared to the older maps. So fighting in the center, you will have a much higher chance of having a lot of siege camps to fight these sectors. And also, because so many of the building slots are concentrated in the middle, it means that strong guilds that are able to get into the middle will have an easier time fighting outwards, because there are more siege camps in the middle, and because of the new layout, each of those siege camps will be able to be used on more of the 3rd ring sectors. Because each of these sectors have 3 sectors in the 3rd ring that it can use those siege camps on. If we look at the old map, here each of these sectors only have 2 sectors on the outer ring to use those siege camps on. So again, if you get to the center and if you build siege camps there, you will have more sectors on the next ring out, on the 3rd ring, to fight over. And I do think that even though, yes, there are more sectors to take those, so more guilds or more ways to get to this ring here in the middle, I do think that strong guilds will be able to steamroll their way through, take those sectors, and then use those to expand outwards before weaker guilds are able to expand inwards, because there are fewer siege camps on the outer rings. They will have a slower time fighting inwards than the strong guilds will have fighting outwards with more siege camps. So overall, I do think that this map will be more beneficial for stronger guilds. They are more easily able to get into the middle, and from the middle they will have an even bigger position of strength than they had on the old map, and using this position they will be able to expand outwards more easily. That's my prediction. I do hope I'm wrong, but I do think that's how I think it will play out. And I don't think that was the goal with this layout. I think their goal was that with more sectors on the 3rd ring or the outer rings, you're able to, in 3rd ring, you're able to fight your way more easily into the middle, because there are more ways to the middle. But I do think the way it'll play out is that it'll actually be reversed. Those in the middle will have more fights to get their way out, but because of the number of siege camps in the middle, they will be able to do those much more easily than people are coming in. I don't think so. I don't think their goal with this was to do that. I think that it was the reverse. I do think they wanted to make it easier for guilds to get into the middle, but I fear it'll be the reverse. But yeah, even though that's my thoughts. That's how I think it'll be. But I do like the idea of this map. I do think it'll bring more challenges. If I were to make a change, I do think I would shift more of the siege camps towards the outer rings so that you have an easier time fighting in than you have fighting out like it is right now. Of course, there are plenty of other things they can look at in terms of balancing to make it more even for weak and strong guilds. One topic that I know a lot of people have been talking about is the ranking system, the league system. There could definitely be some changes here. Perhaps that would be an interesting video. Perhaps that's something I should go over in a future video. I do have some thoughts, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to go into it now because I would like to to dig deeper into it and come up with some proper ideas if I were to make such a video. But for now, these are some of my initial thoughts on these maps. It will be interesting to see if I'm right, if I'm wrong, how it will play out. And please write in the comments, discuss in the comments if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, if you have any ideas on how to change the balancing and so on. Please discuss in the comments. I would be very interested to hear what you have to say. So yeah, I think that's where I will end this video. But before I do, I would like to thank my Patreons. I would like to thank Homestar, Merrick B, PQ the Goat, Arthur, Sabathiel, Hugo Count von Count, Jon Fredriksen, Jude the Generous, Rocco, Henrik der Erklärbär, and Mattia. Thank you all very much for your support. If you want to support me, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future.